Hi, hello, and welcome to the 1111 Divine Lover series brought to you by Vertex of Abundance. My name is Serene Priestess Abossi. I'll be your oracle today. I was sent to deliberate the findings for the Capricorn season, soulmate twin flame union. This is the more, sunshine, lollipops, and rainbows and lemon drops. I'm hearing that. So I'm kind of excited. I've been seeing love peak out a little bit the last couple few days, so we'll see what that is, how that is, and what's going on. In my opinion, Capricorn is a little bit of a tricky energy because it always brings with it a karmic lesson, and um, you know. The Lover's card is the sacred union of divine opposites or divine union of sacred opposites. So if we have Mars, then we also have Venus. If we have the Sun, then we also have the Moon. So uh, the rising or Mars is best in Capricorn. So it's kind of like a yeah, but energy, or you have this, but it's negated energy. That's Capricorn. Capricorn is like the understanding of the loophole, or the holder of the linchpin, or the person that's gatekeeping the leverage. Like that's the energy of Capricorn. And it's a very karmic sign because once you're done with Capricorn energy, which is ruled by Saturn, you move into Aquarius energy, which is where Saturn gives blessings. It typically gives out karma in Capricorn and dharma in Aquarius. So normally you would avoid Capricorn energy, but yeah, Mars, which is part of the sacred opposites, Mars does exceptionally well in Capricorn. And honestly, like that's where you want your Mars, either in the 10th house or in the sign of Capricorn. So it's going to be a little bit of both. We'll have to do a lot of clarification here, and that's just what it's going to be, how it's going to be. I'm hearing that players, they're going to play, players. And haters, they're gonna hate. We got that Mars and Capricorn. Ballers, they're gonna ball. Baller, shot colors, they're gonna call. I think I learned that song in high school, so I'm actually familiar with a few of the lyrics. Oh my, this is a lot. A lot. That ain't got nothing to do with me and you the way it is. So we have something that fell face down. So a message from the other side. Blockity block block. Block of the Facebook, block of the WhatsApp, block of the Instagram, block of the internet, block. Block, 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 block. Block, 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 block. Excuse me, but that's what we have. That's what that was. So getting in here already, we have a double queen. So there was some type of competition, conundrum, crossing, but it's also like Aquarius energy, Capricorn energy. We have a sword, we have a pentacle. So we're feeling restricted, or we're feeling like we have to yield to the terms of the universe. We're probably feeling a dispersal, a disagreement, some type of separation, some type of triangulation. And it required us to move on, move forward, to get to higher ground in some kind of way, shape, form, or another. If anything I say resonates deeply with you, go ahead and like, comment, share, subscribe, leave a review. Okay, English, come back. Leave a review, book a session, send a donation. So we're coming into this cycle feeling triangulated, separated, just maybe even brokenhearted. We put some work into it, so we're needing to have a new beginning or embark on a new beginning, one of receiving material abundance or practical knowledge where we can build things. We need growth. We need growth. We need growth. And the sacrifice is to weigh up options and choose. We have to choose love. So love doesn't have to be perfect. Love has to contribute to what's alive in you. Love has to help one grow into their bigger, brighter, and better self. If we're not growing together, then we're growing apart. And that's really when you say no to love, because it's not love, it's an attachment. Love is unconditional, and honestly, it sets you free. It doesn't always mean you get to stay, it doesn't always mean we get to be with that person. So that's when it's karmic, when you're trying to make it other than what it is, or when you're forming an attachment to something that should be effervescent and free flowing. It's interesting because we started out with the Queen of Swords, and then on my tarot app it said it was a Queen of Swords day. So we're getting the Queen of Swords a lot. There is some kind of either boundary standard or open enemy. Something might be false. Held back or blocked. So there, I'm already detecting that this is going to be a cycle where love is coming in that was blocked or botched in the past. Certain things might be circling back or coming back that previously were, it might have been struggle love, it might have been heartache, heartbreak, it might have been blocked, triangulated, there might have been third parties in the past. And we might have had some kind of boundary or standard that we might need to reconsider, not walk back, but we might need to review the facts of the case. And if the circumstances are not as they appear to be, or the circumstances are different now, we might need to give this a second chance, which I am not in the habit of suggesting. What's for you will not pass you by. If it's not the right time, it's not the right person. That's so hard for us to hear, but that's kind of, we got to go into the laws of the universe on that. I'm not going to spend the time to do that now. There's a lot of Venus on the feminine side, Mars on the masculine side. So this is looking good already. And there is some kind of policy, procedure, protocol, system, structure, foundation, means, mechanism, methodologies, theories, techniques, technologies, some type of going by the book, status quo, some type of coming correct here. Yeah, because there's been a mastery, and it's like some type of stronghold has been built, or truth has come out, or revelation has been made, and it took a long time. So this is not cupcake. This is not petty Eddie. This is not low down, boring, basic. This is on the level. And already we have the masculine energy, La Imperatore, with the Il Caro here. So there's some type of humility, because the challenge is about maturing and collaborating, cooperating, co-creating around maturity. With the double three, I am detecting that there was some type of third party energy, but it's true. Or there might have been, we might have been working it out or at the deal table with multiple suitors. I'm seeing at least two. Now, again, divine love is going to be more, it's going to be a little bit colder. Doesn't mean it's lacking passion, but the crazy, the chaos, the karma, the chaotic kind of back and forth reverberation is not there usually. Most times it's not. With real love, it's going to seem a little bit boring, or it's going to go a little bit slow. And that's not a blanket statement. It's not an absolute. I'm giving it as a relative value to the opposite of a karmic relationship. So karmic relationship is going to be a lot of love bombing, is going to be a lot of hard and heavy up front in the beginning, and then there's going to be this dismiss, discard. Not always. I don't need to go into the toxicity of the karmic situation. A karmic situation is typically because we're stuck. We met our person, we can't be with them, so we're trying to make it work. We're trying to force, we're trying to fit. So that's what I'm talking about. Even if it's very hot and very passionate and very steamy or whatever, it's not something that's contrived or forced. Does that make sense? it's just very fluid and natural, even if there's ebbs and flows through shaky ground, through a couple few obstacles. It doesn't need to be a clean or clear surface of water. There could be, you know, sediment, or there could be motion, it can be a little bit of there could be waves. As long as you can navigate the sea, it doesn't matter if there's waves. So that's what I'm getting, because already out the gate, we have the divine masculine and we have the temperance card, which means we have the twin flame union, we have the divine masculine. Also, with the temperance and the emperor come out together, it means that there's humility on the masculine side. And then the high priestess and the chariot, there's some kind of initiation here that's already happened. So we're looking at the fact that we might need a little bit of respect. We might need the masculine to come to some kind of higher ground and mature. I feel like it's going to happen. They're aware of it. Because when you have a highly desirable person, partner, whether you're male, female, assigned, or identified, for instance, like if you're dating a celebrity, that's a very, dramatic example. Or you're dating somebody very attractive, or you're dating somebody who's in the public, light, or that a lot of people gravitate towards. We can't come off kind of crazy neurotic, being like, why are you talking to that person? Da 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 da. Like, we can't come off like the little jealous one. It's imperative in that connection that we honor that person's beauty, honor the person's value, because it's not always their face. Sometimes it's their energy, sometimes it's their vibe, sometimes it's their status, sometimes it's their stature. The measurement, the metric that we use as their mate is, do we feel respected? So it's okay if people are throwing themselves at them. Do they circle back around and say, hey, I'm in a connection, or that's not something I'm looking for, I'm not interested, I'm not available? Or do we always have to go and police them and check their phone? And because then that goes over to the karmic side. Does that make sense? And I'm using that attractive or that celebrity as an example. It's not always that. I don't know what it would be. Um, I can't think of other examples, but it there is this triangulation, or um, ganging up, or we either have co-creation, collaboration, cooperation, or we have cabals, covens, cliques. And I'm not getting cabals, covens, cliques. I'm getting that we are needing boundary standards, clarity, and we also are needing to let a little bit of a pain in the heart or pain in the ass exist. And that to me suggests that there's a lot of attention here on the masculine, and the masculine needs to adopt principles, protocols, behaviors, tactics, techniques that enable the open flow and share of information, maybe even transparency, and a lot of boundaries or communication as to, like, look, listen, if you got a sexy ass man, excuse my language, he needs to be able to police. We as the feminine don't need to go policing him. We don't need to be checking his phone, chasing him after him, grabbing girls by their weave. No, none of that. Okay. I know I just said some cultural statements there, but you hear what I'm saying? Like, he needs to be like, hey, I got a boo. Hey, I'm engaged. Hey, I'm connected to somebody. Hey, whatever. Does that make sense? And again, even further, it's not his job to make us feel better. But if he doesn't provide clarity, it's our job to ask for clarity. And if it's a continued lack of clarity, we need to police our boundaries, and that's the only thing. We don't police another person. They work on themselves, we work on ourselves, and we get together and work on the relationship together. So something here is going to happen, because there is being a call out, a judgment call, an awakening, an epiphany. Something does get decided, and I do feel like it's positive. So we have a pair of twos here. That's a partnership and union. There's going to be a balancing things out, because I feel like we were just going to stay connected in some way, kind of platonic, communicating or whatever, but the love circles back around because we're ready. And this is not something that's brand new. It's something that was existing. When I've been getting outside of these readings, like that we need to go on to new, we need to go on to new, we need to go on to new. I do feel for some of us, something from the past is coming back, but we need to not be looking forward, not be head on a swivel, scanning the horizon, waiting for some old lover from the past to come back. We can't be, wounded, conjuring up some yearning from the past, hoping, wishing, praying, wounded, conjuring up some yearning from the past. We need to be able to move on, move forward. And if something circles back around, it's because we moved forward and it or they caught up to us. It's not for us to stop and wait, for us to stop and turn around, for us to stop and circle the block. No, none of that maneuvering ish. We moved on, move forward, leaving them behind. And we don't move on, move forward to teach nobody a lesson. We move on, move forward because we learned our lesson. That's part of it. And listen, with the Capricorn season, it is going to be testing those boundaries. And even when you're doing really well in the Capricorn energy or you're the master of the Capricorn energy, you're always checking. It's easy to trust when you can verify. If you're Capricorn, you're going to be twice a night, you're going to be checking to see if you arm the security system. You're going to be on your phone and make sure that the doors are locked, that the oven is off, the garage door is closed. You might, for the first day, for the first week, for the first month, get up and walk out and check all the things. But then you're just going to be efficient and get that app on your phone. But that's the Capricorn energy, always battening down the hatches, always checking. And it's not like a scorpionic test, 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 which is good and bad. It's relative. It just depends on the energy and how well it flows together. That's the Capricorn energy. It's the holder of the leverage. It's the holder of the linchpin. Okay. So I'm just getting here because the sacrifice to make is to be in union, be in partnership. But the challenge is maturing, is getting to higher ground, is leaving something behind, which tells me that the past was kind of dicey. The past was kind of shaky. And we do need to kind of figure out a way to move on, move forward from it. It does happen, but there's some boundaries here. That there's been a cycle of time and we're ready to take action, and we do have a returner. There's already been some groundwork laid. Seven of Pentacles is planting seeds. There's already been investments put into them. But we're going to feel some kind of way. We might still have anger from what happened in the past. Somebody might have their Saturn in Leo. That would mean you're born 1978, 1979, 1977, or because that's still a young person. I'm not going to say that last part because 77, 78, 76, 79, or 30 years before that. So that's a very specific person. If they have their Saturn in the 10th house, that would mean they're a Scorpio rising. If it's in the sign of Leo, and I'm getting a confirmation here, they're going to need to handle us with kid gloves. They're going to need to attend to us emotionally. And I take back, I retract that kid glove statement, but they're going to need to come to us lovingly, caringly, kindly. Yeah, there is heartbreak that we're still carrying. And it doesn't always seem like that. Sometimes we do whatever we need to do to move on, move forward. We do that kind of forced healing, which always circles the block. But when it does circle the block, we're not in the same environment, surrounding location. We're not in the same energy, frequency, vibration that we incurred the pain, so we can deal with it when it does come back. Sometimes you do just have to grin and bear it and move on, especially if it's a communal situation, or like say you were dating somebody in the workplace, or you're dating somebody in your friend group, or you're dating somebody in a club or organization they belong to. A lot of times it's kind of incestuous. For instance, if you're in the queer community, the small groups around town, of course, there's more than a dozen, duh. Um, but everybody kind of knows each other. You're only 3, 4, 5 degrees separated, so it's not uncommon that you run into them again. It's not uncommon that the next person that they're dating is somebody that has a close tie to you. And it's not always like, oh, hey, you stole my man. It doesn't have to be the queer. It could be that you are an interior designer and, you know, your best employee that you trained for 5 years quits and goes and works with another one, or you play pickleball or something, and you know their person is goes and dates another person in the pickleball league, maybe on a different team or something. It can be like that. That certain things are coming back around, they're circling the block. And it's not always it coming directly towards you. It could be a shot across the bow or a flare, sending up a flare. We get to know how that cycle of karma turned out. So here's the thing. If we moved forward from a person, or they did that from us, it's going to come back. We have a returner. It's going to bring with it a lot of emotions, and we need to work out these emotions. We might need to do it with the person, but we need to handle our own feelings. Our feelings inform our needs. It doesn't mean that we have to dismiss or bypass or override our feelings, but nobody is responsible for your feelings. Nobody can make you feel better or less than. Yes, their behavior contributed to an experience that left us feeling some kind of way, but they did not make you feel that way. So when you're having feelings or you're stuck in your feelings, you take a moment and you process. You're like, you know what? I'm not trusting. I need to have this behavior going forward, or I'm out, and it's a deal breaker. That's different than you need to not make me feel, or I felt this way because. Mm-mm, mm-mm, mm-mm. Go over to the karmic side. That's not for the divine side of the love connection, because again, there is something that must be addressed, red flag that must be addressed, because it's also going to be something, a wound from the past. We'll be jumping at red flags until something from the past got addressed. And that's the thing. When you address the past, move on, move forward. Don't circle the block and come back to the past. The only reason to bring up the past is for two reasons. If the past keeps rearing its ugly head based on behaviors, meaning the past keeps coming back to visit, not because somebody brought it up, but because some old past behavior is still in the present. That's one reason to bring up the past. The second reason to bring up the past is to inform and impact the future. We do not bring up the past to gripe, to complain, or to hold it against our person. Otherwise, we shouldn't be getting back into something, or we shouldn't have decided to move forward. You put your foot down and you say, no, I'm not ready to move forward. Okay, then we're still talking about the past. But if you allowed the connection to move forward, is to leave the past in the past, to leave the past behind. And again, the only two reasons to bring up the past is to inform and instruct the future, or because a past behavior keeps happening. For instance, if he takes the rent money and gambles it away, and you broke up, or you left, or you kicked him out of the bedroom because he's unreliable with finances, and then you guys come back together again and you move forward, and then all of a sudden, after 9 months, after a year, after 5 years, he takes the rent money and gambles it, maybe not at the casino, but on the horses, then yeah, you got to bring up the past. You hear what I'm saying? But if you were or not winning an argument and you decided to bring up the past after you decided to move forward, that's a different story. You don't pull up the past as a trump card. So that's what I'm getting here. That's the difficulty moving on, moving forward here, is that something did happen in the past, and we never let it go. We never got over it. One person's going to need to learn how we feel. The other person's going to need to share what happened, clarify the details and the facts around the occurrence. Because for emotional fortitude to come here, strength, courage, and wisdom, we're going to need to inventory all these feelings. We have the Five of Swords, and then we have the Seven of Cups now. We need to count all the feelings, inventory all the feelings, and the mirroring this is going to need to be someone's going to communicate how things are going to move from now on, what the feelings are, what the drives and ambitions are, what they want out of this connection. Literally define what the work is going to be. Like, okay, I'm over here working on my little ways, working on my lack of, working on what I need to work on. You're over there working on your what you need to work on. What are we going to work on together for this relationship? When it's about a person, the person works on the person. Of course, you support your person, but when it's about a person, your person works on the person. When it's about the relationship, we work on it together. Something here needs to be named, and it's some kind of ambition drives desires. Also, we need to let something go, but it's because we overcome it, we heal from it. So, again, there was a wound, and it gets reopened when this person comes back. Because we have a returner here, Knight of Wands. Yeah, definitely need to move to higher ground here. Eight of Cups with the Justice card, that's withdrawing. We had to remove our energy because it was the right thing to do. And once we're to a place where we're apathetic, we have gone too far. And once we're in a place where we're unbothered by things that happened in the past, and that's where we need to be. It also can be that we're not able to trust or take whatever's offered, because there's an invitation here for romance, for excitement, to play. There's an invitation to play here. The Page of Wands is the invitation to play. If there's more wands that defines, so this is an invitation to the bed. It can be invitation to consent. It can be invitation to choose. Because we're going to second guess a lot in the beginning. That's just how this goes because there's guilt, shame, remorse. Okay, there's a song that's just been playing, 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 playing. I'm gonna open it up right quick. Okay, it's called A Prism of Love by Blakey and Jones. I've been hearing that song. Something about I would never hurt you, sorry to break your heart. The song is great, but you really got to listen to the lyrics. It's hard to catch, but if you can, you might need to look them up. And a lot of the places where you look up the lyrics, it gets it wrong. I think all the lyrics are done by AI now, because some artists don't release the lyrics with when they publish the album or release the album. But anyways, Blakey, Prism of Love by Blakey and Jones. So there's a glow up here on the feminine side. The feminine realizes their worth, value. They come into alignment here as well because the love is really here. But it's gonna need to seem like the person we're connected to is choosing us. That we're not an option, we're the choice. In a sea full of options, that we are the choice. And It's like I might not be the whiskey you wish to drink, but I'm definitely the water you need, or whatever, however that quote you go. Because the karma needs to be aligned and righted, and it is. It's going to happen. This is a rare occurrence. I don't see this happen like this. But we need to balance ourselves out, align, because there were a lot of emotions before, and we need to work that out. Because we had a karmic new beginning, and there's something to confront here. There's a little bit of punishment on this other side, the person that we're connected to. Now, it's not always punishment. The karma, they might ask to move to the next stage, and we repel them because there's still an imprint here. They're marked in a certain way. Trust has been lost or destroyed or something there. They have a mark on them. They're tainted by something that happened in the past. Five of Wands with the Moon card. That's the mark of Cain or any mark. They're tainted by something. But we evolved to taking a stand here. So was a quick reading. I was expecting it to be a very, very long one. Yeah, I'm hearing that. The Prism of Love. Yeah, the Prism of Love by Blakey. Listen to that. Yeah, one. I'm feeling that so strongly. I have abolished duality from myself. I have seen the two worlds as one. One I seek, one I know. One I see, one I call. You look for me, and what do you see? You. Am I playing games with you? Holding up a mirror for you to behold God? Yes, these are games of love and truth. Look for me and find yourself, for I am you and you are me, and together we are one, playing hide and seek in love's great playground. Like molten gold poured from the furnace of divine love into a one of a kind mold, you are created uniquely as divine essence. You are created uniquely and of divine essence. You are free, excuse me, you are both the lover and the beloved. There is no aspect of your life separate from your spiritual journey. And there is no aspect of your life that is not of divine origin. So then, why the frowning, the fear, or the questioning? Let me share a sublime secret with you. Let me whisper into your heart now. There is nothing to fear. All is unfolding according to the divine genius, and there is a sweet shift in store for you. No matter how dire circumstances may be, or may appear to be, or despairing you feel, there is still an avenue through which fulfillment and resolution will be granted. This will happen. This is because the divine seeks wholeness of the one. That means anything and everything part of existence, and that includes you and all aspects of your being and life, is claimed by the divine. Your return to the divine is being demanded. Every part of you, every life circumstance. The divine keeps rigorous, flawless accounts. Therefore, nothing shall be left unaccounted for, not even that which seems to be outside of divine attention and grace in this moment. So we're having trouble. uh, We're having trouble living in the heart. Something is going to circle back around and it's going to re-trigger a wound from the past. It's going to affect trust because the sacrifice to make is to go out on a limb and trust. There's also this need to get to higher ground, and that's the challenge. Maturing, letting something go, not really detaching because we're going to feel detached most of the time, but actually withdrawing or maturing or moving to higher ground. It's going to be difficult based off past action. So during this Capricorn season, this is the message of something circling back. Who knows what it's going to be, if we're going to keep it, if we're going to acknowledge it, if we're going to accept it. But something circles back. It comes back towards us. It may be a message, a word, an understanding, a feeling. We might discover what's going on with the person that we're no longer connected to, and it brings up all these things. This is a bit of a test. It's not about whether we take this person back or not. It's, do we understand our own self-worth and value? Do we understand our own need to heal? Do we understand our own beauty? Do we understand our own path in and out of and around this cycle, this union, this connection? So just a quick prayer for all those still lost out there, to illusion, delusion, confusion, yet to awaken, yet to heal, trapped in the matrix. May you be well, may you be whole, may you be happy, may you be at peace, may you receive everything you ever wanted, starting with what you deserve. I pray that your path is ordered and illuminated back to the resplendent grace of the divine, of unconditional love and universal oneness. Ho'oponopono, I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I pray that you return back saved and redeemed for all eternity. Take good care until we meet again, until we read again. Namaste, Dandava, and Ashe. Bye bye.